Taking order at running back yet?
No, not yet. I mean, I think you've seen some good out of each of them. Zach Brooks is probably the one that's been is probably having as good a camp as anybody. He and Hot Rod's doing some good things. DJ's showing signs while he's having a good camp. He just quite hadn't busted out like we'd see him to break out at this point, but he's doing some good things. Obviously, I've talked about the two freshmen. Wayne Gallman continues to come on, and with the knowledge that he's got, and being out there and while it's a live action, he's definitely got some things that are happening, and he's making some mistakes, but you expect that.
What does Brooks give you that McDowell doesn't?
Well, he's obviously a little bit bigger. He's moving the chains right now. He's doing some good things in pass protection. Catches the ball really well. DJ and Hot Rod do the same too, but he's just a bigger body, and have a more of a tendency to be more of a punishing style runner.
Is he pushing McDowell, to keep that top spot?
Well, yeah. I think there's a really good competition going on right there. I think you have to have both of them. You're going to have all of them to play this year. You're not going to be able to come in with just one running back or two running backs. And so I think there's a healthy competition going in that room. Coach Elliott's doing a great job with those guys and holding their feet to the fire. I mean, it's just again, it's each one of them. One day one's better than the other. And so we're still a long way to go in camp and see how this thing goes. They all got to work on their ball security. And that's not just them, it's everybody.
With Zach, is it maturity, the fact that he's put on 15, 16 pounds from a year ago, and had a year in your system as well?
Well, I think so. I mean, I think, but they all have.
Yeah.
So I can't use that as an excuse. I mean, I do. I think he's gained some weight. He's gotten more confident in himself and in his running style. But Hot Rod's doing some good things too now. He is, and Hot Rod's got experience, and that's what you really like.
Coach, can you compare the receiver position to where it was maybe this time a year ago?
It's really hard to do right now. Obviously, anytime you lose a first-round draft choice, it's you're not going to nearly be as good as what you were a year ago this time. But there are some really good things happening with those guys. I'm very excited about that group. I think from top to bottom, overall, it's a stronger group than what we were a year ago at this time. Now obviously, we all know what Nuke brought to us, and what he's done, and Brandon Ford as well. So, I mean, there's some great things going on right now with our receiving crew, and we again got to continue to stress playing without the football, and that's the biggest thing.
You mentioned J.J. McCullough and Leggett kind of battling it out, figuring things out. How's that coming along?
Well, they both have, again, two young guys that are going to be really good players for us. They've hit a wall, and they're trying to work through it. We're continuing to press them and stress them. And this ain't time to work out, the friendships and all that stuff. And, they don't care for us right now, and that's good, because I don't care for sometimes the way they play. So, but they know that they've got to be pressed, and we have to continue to stress them. And, they either will or they won't.
Anything sort of solidifying itself from the last time we talked to you on the offensive line?
No, not really. I mean, we've got some competition going up front. David Beasley got back in, was out a day or so at practice, came back in, and he's got to pick back up. Kaylon Davis is doing some good things. We're moving McLean around. I mean, there's still a lot of moving parts, and we want to by Saturday to try to have everything kind of starting to settle in with the competition, at all positions. And obviously we know who Tyler Shatley's capable of doing. Gift Timothy, we need somebody to come on and push Gift Timothy. We thought that was going to be Joe Gore. That hadn't been Joe Gore. So we're trying to make some moves to try to make Gift feel a little bit uncomfortable. Sometimes those guys feel a little bit too comfortable. We got to try to push them out of that comfort zone. But we got to have somebody behind them doing that, and we hadn't quite had that just yet. So we made some moves, and maybe McLean's the guy that pushed them. Shaq Anthony maybe be the guy that pushed them. So we got to continue to stress those guys up front as well.
McLean still rotate between tackle and guard a good bit? Or?
No, not a whole lot. More so at just tackle right now. We've worked him some at guard. Ain't going to continue, but you know, that's a different animal right there at that guard position right now, and you know, we need him to focus in on trying to make a push and, you know, kind of stress Gift Timothy a little bit.
Tyler Shapley's been versatile, going back to high school, changed positions pretty consistently, and talked last week how much you really like what he's done. I mean, what do you see in him as being able to adapt to any role he's asked of?
Well, he's a winner. I mean, and they all are, but I mean, this guy, he's passionate. I mean, he's rugged. He's mean. He wants to be the guy that's running the show up there. He's more vocal right now than he's ever been. You know, he's one of those guys that if you're going to put and build an offensive line around, that's the guy you want to say, okay, I'm going to start with him, and I'm going to build around you because I know what you're going to do, and I know how capable and what we're going to be able to do with him. And I mean, he's that guy. He's like I said, he's mean and he don't care. I mean, and I say he don't care. He gives everything he's got every play, and it means something to him.
Between Ryan and Jay at the center position, first off, have either of them distinguished themselves?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we still are struggling a little bit with some of our, you know, some snaps, but they've had a better week this week. You know, we've really challenged them late last week in the scrimmage, and you know, I would say, you know, right now, obviously, you know, Ryan Norton is getting most of the reps with the number ones, and you know, Jake Laramie's pushing. Oh, he's getting in with some of the ones at times. I mean, it's still a competition going on right now, but you know, Ryan Norton's making a strong push right now for it.
What's going to be the determining factor at that? The snaps are so important.
All of that. I mean, everything snaps. That's number one, and just the ability to go to the next play when something bad happens, and not let it linger. And that's the biggest drawback right now with Ryan. And even Jay. I mean, they wear everything on their shoulders. They wear their feelings on their shoulders, and you know, they can't take it from one play to the next. Or if they get coached hard, they can't swell up. I mean, it's just you got to go next play, and they're working on that, and they're getting better at that.
Other than a couple of the freshman receivers and backs, I mean, is this going to be a relatively easy redshirt decision year?
Right now, I think there's a few of them that you could sit here and say, okay, yeah, those guys probably red shirts. There's a few of them that you'd like to say, I wish we could red shirt you, but we just don't know yet. We still got another 4, 5, 6 practices left to camp before we make all that decision.
The scrimmage going to help?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, next 2 scrimmages will really help.
Is it safe to assume that one of the running backs will redshirt this year?
You'd like to hope so. You would like to hope so. Again, it's hard to say right now.
What happened in the scrimmage? Neither of them had the best numbers. What happened with those guys?
Well, a lot of it was probably the situation that we were putting them in. I mean, it's really hard to say right now. I mean, we try to stress them a little bit and overload them, kind of see where they were. It was by design.
Is Mike Williams a guy that he's pushing?
Yes, Mike Williams is making some great push right now. He is. He's just got to continue to grasp the knowledge of this offense. So yeah, he is. He's coming on. Really proud of Mike.
So he's looked
Mike
pretty good
well.
since he came back.
Mike has looked really well to this point. But still inconsistent in his route running. Well, I mean, I just think there's so many different scenarios that you look at in the game, and you know, when you take a big drop, short drop, when you have to chop the steps, widen your base. I mean, that's just always something that you can do to get better at football.
Have you seen that progress?
You know, from day one of fall camp to right now, there is no comparison to where Taj was and where he is right now. He's playing with great confidence right now. He really got into a rhythm the other day in a scrimmage. He's gotten in several rhythms in practice, and we've scripted to see how he's going to respond to some adversity too. And you know, we know what Taj Boyd can do. There's no doubt about it. I've got to get and make sure Cole Stout's ready and Nick Schuster's ready. That's my challenge over the next 2 scrimmages.
Do we sometimes look at a quarterback's arm too much?
Well, I don't think so. I think they all have to have, good arms. I mean, and they all got to throw spirals and do all that stuff that looks pretty. But I mean, for the most part, it's in our quarterback meeting room, we got a set of rules that our quarterbacks have, and one of those rules is I don't care how you look and how you did it, you got to get your team in the end zone. So He can sit back there and have the best footwork and the greatest arm ever and throw it over the mountain and not get him in the end zone, and it don't mean nothing. But when he may look ugly and drop sidearm and bounce off one arm and still get us in the end zone. That's what matters the most. And all, grading them at the end. And how did he grade out after a game? I mean, here's the bottom line is, did you get him in the end zone, yes or no? That's how the grade needs to work with those guys.
And when you think back to, I guess it would have been